Ugh, another drizzly day. Let's go check and see what we got going on out there. Hi, babies. So I put up the netting on the dahlias, and yeah, we got some slug damage again, so they gnawed off the little sprout. And then we also have some things we need to take care of for these cool flowers. So let's get some slug bait and let's get pinching on these. So I ran out of slug bait for like the 5 millionth time this season. And I heard that you can actually use diatomaceous earth like in the same way, where you just spread it out all over the ground. So we'll give that a try and see if it keeps the slugs away, because man, I need some help. Please, something work. So today is another rainy day. Like no surprise here. It's been 60 degrees and cloudy for like months, honestly. And it's not terrible, but you know, these plants are still pretty delayed. But one thing that has happened is some of the weather fluctuations have caused my plants to flower at a very short level. So let me show you real quick. Here you can see the straw flower, and it's super short, but there's a bud on there that's getting ready to flower. And we don't want that, because obviously we know that straw flower is supposed to be way taller than this. So I'm going to go through and pinch those off. So I'm just going to try to go as low as possible. Just cut that off, I guess. So yeah, that's clearly not a usable stem. The other plants that are doing this are the celosia, so I'm just going to pinch those as well, because we know these should be like 2 feet tall. Okay. One other plant that's doing it is the calendula. So although that is a very pretty flower, it's not really a good length. But you can see I've got a bunch of buds here, so that's pretty awesome. Just a little too short. So I really haven't been doing much around here because of the weather, but also I was kind of feeling a little sick for a couple weeks there. I don't know what was going on, but one thing I have been consistently doing out here is succession sowing sunflowers. I've been doing, you know, a variety, but this week I'm just going to do all of the Troca oranges because I don't feel like making a bunch of bags. So I was not going to sell any flowers this week, but you know, I've got these lupins and then some cornflowers and you know, this chive and hydrangea. I think I'm going to just go outside and cut and see if I can find something cute, because this is just the stragglers and I'm kind of liking it. So let's give it a try. So some of the focal flowers that I had planned to have blooming right now would be my David Austin roses, and they are still in bud stage. And I also have sunflowers that I direct seeded at the end of March, not ready, and lilies are also not ready, so I really don't have any focal flowers. Even my daisies are just starting to get into like a bud stage. So we're gonna give it a shot with really just fillers, a couple disc-like flowers. I guess, could we call cone flowers that? I'm not sure. But you know, the alliums, they look really cute. They add that kind of sparkly pop. So that's a good filler. And then I've got some sage that's starting to flower. So that is a nice greenery as well. So, you know, we're going to give it a shot. My shade garden is going into its 3rd year and it's starting to really fill out. So my bleeding hearts are really just been blooming their heads off, so that's awesome. And my astilbe is getting some nice buds on there, but those aren't ready yet. So we'll just take some of this bleeding heart and my few straggler anemones that I have and see what we can do with that. I also have this thornless raspberry, which has really been the only foliage that I've had, so we'll harvest a little bit of this and see how we can make use of it. But yeah, definitely need some more 9-bark or spirea or something like that for next year. My rock, the coneflower, I'm pretty sure this is from last year's seed that I sowed in fall, so they are doing great. They're the first annual to bloom, and then I've got my lupin as well. So let's see what we can make. Alright, so I harvested a bunch of flowers, and what I've been doing for bouquets that I end up wrapping is I've been kind of arranging them in a vase so that I can see how the design works, because I noticed on some of the ones that didn't sell that I saved, that I wrapped up but I didn't test them in the vase. Once I put them in the vase, I was like, that's kind of ugly. And I think most people probably don't trim down flowers and rearrange things too much in the vase. I think they just kind of plunk it in how they receive it. So I'm going to keep trying to like arrange them in a vase first, get a good design, and then rubber band it like that and then wrap it up. So that's what I'm going to do now with what I have. And it's kind of bittersweet, I guess. I have quite a few things that are really good airy accents or filler accents or spikes, but now I don't have any focal flowers, and earlier in spring all I had pretty much was focal flowers, so you know, we're working through it. Something I've been doing with lupins is these little bottom flowers kind of get a lot of bug damage from the slugs, so I will just kind of rip some of these off, put them in the compost, and then I still get a usable stem as these open up. And that also can help if you want to maintain some of the side buds that'll come off, but you still kind of want a longer stem, so that's a way to do it as well. So my goal was to make a wrapped bouquet, and I was going to test how it looked in the vase, but I did the spiral method and I put it in there and I just wasn't impressed with it. So I decided to do a mason jar arrangement, and so that's how I sold these. And honestly, my mason jar arrangements are not selling as well as my wrapped bouquets, so I was a little bit sad about that. Maybe a little foreshadowing there. But I think it's pretty. And all of the mason jars are at $15, and I think that's fair given there's not a single focal flower in there. Alright, my next idea is to do some herb bouquets. So I've got this sage that's flowering, I guess, and then all of these chive flowers. So I'm going to go get some more herbs and then make some bouquets. So my plan was to make 2 smaller $10 herb bouquets, and I was trying to get it to work, and I had an odd number of every stem, and I just didn't like how it looked in the vase. It just didn't fill up the vase enough. So I decided to redo the whole thing and use every single stem in one little shorty jar, and that turned out super cute. So I've been open since 9 and I've had no takers. It's about 2 p.m. and we're actually getting ready to go to a wedding, so I'm going to close up shop. That's how it goes sometimes. It's worth a shot just to make sure that people are still looking, knowing that I have flowers. So I'm not putting a bunch of pressure on myself because I know that these aren't, featuring a bunch of focal flowers and things like that. So, we shoot the shot. If it works, cool. If not, whatever. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.